happening tonight is a very, very, very good night. As a matter of fact, today was a very good day. It has been the eighth day for teachers who, right across this country, are in this struggle. Look, take a minute, call up your friend, call up your neighbor, call up your mother, your father, your grandfather, call up Abel Sitaram, whatever is his name, call up Andrea Premnot, call up Devika, no, not Devika, his name is Devo. I think it's Devo Passat. Call him up. Just tell them advancing the cause is on. Call up MP Jafar Ali's cousin, uh, Indira Jafar Ali. Call them up and tell them advancing the cause is on. And we're going to be talking tonight about the teachers' issues, the teachers' struggle for survival. That's what we're talking about tonight. And it's amazing that quite a lot of persons who are not teachers, but they are so interested in this teachers strike, not merely interested in advancing the cause for teachers to receive their earnings or their long overdue remuneration, but they are so into it that this strike is political, and this strike is Coretta McDonald trying to gain political points for her party, and that this strike is about teachers being covetous and unconscionable, and that this strike is about teachers who are working 195 days per week. Look, call up some of those same people, tell them advancing the cause is on, tell them we want them to come out here tonight. And so let me take time off tonight to say a wonderful good evening to all those who observe, what is it? Valentine's Day. You see, I am up and not into it that I don't even remember what it is. Yes, so call up all those persons, let them know that we're extending a wonderful Valentine's night to them, and that tonight is the night to share plenty more love. I want to say good night to all of those of you who are on. I just saw my little friend there, Madam Bonita Semper, and she's a teacher, and I'm happy that she is on the program tonight, and all the other teachers who are on tonight. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night to you. I know it's not a good night because you know what? We couldn't get to do with our children what we usually do for them on Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, we would have fun with our children at school. From nursery to secondary, we would have fun with them. We would have cake, and we would have some non-alcoholic champagne or some juice or something, and we just share love in school. But this year we couldn't do that, and this Valentine's Day 2024 is going to be a day that we will always remember, the day when the wicked PPP government would have had us out in the sun, standing out there, showing our displeasure for the manner with which they treat us. So my friends in the US, good night to you. My friends in Canada, in the UK, our friends in Switzerland, good night to you. Our friends in Paris, French Guyana, Trinidad, Turkey, all over just about every single where in this Caribbean, around the Caribbean Sea. Good night to you. We have some friends from the Dominican Republic who were shouting out us this week. Good night to all of you. To our friends from the Executive of the Caribbean Union of Teachers and our colleagues there, those unions within the Caribbean Union of Teachers, good night to you too, because they are also on board with us. To our own local friends right here, the executive members of the Guyana Teachers Union, the Guyana Trades Union Congress, the Guyana Public Service Union, and, well, of course, the Guyana Trades Union Congress and its affiliates. Good night to you. It's good to be back here on Advancing the Cause for another episode. Of course, you know, this is the second week that teachers are in the struggle. Teachers are in the trenches. Teachers are on the streets, all because this government feels that we don't know about anything, and so they can treat us the way they want to treat us. Sherwin Green, good night to you too, and thanks for reminding all of us that the PPP knows nothing about good governance. We have their Miss Richie saying good night, Miss Booker. Look, everybody who's on here, just call up somebody, tell them advancing the cause is on. Dorella Williams, good night to you, and good night to Cousin Ormin. To your dad, Mr. Williams, way out there at Hopetown on the west coast of Berbice. Look, I can get myself in trouble. Good night to you. But I want y'all to call up somebody. Look, tonight, we want to hit past our target of 2,300 or 2,500 persons who watched the show last week. So call up somebody, tell them we need to have this conversation. We need to talk about what's happening. They need to hear what's happening. And let me tell you what's going to happen tonight. Tonight, we're not going to be having too much talking. Tonight, I'm going to give you, our viewers, the opportunity to call us via WhatsApp on the telephone number that we're going to put on the screen just about anytime now. You're going to have the opportunity to call in and say just how you feel about what is happening. The teachers' issue would have been one that has been there for almost 4 years, since 2020. The teachers' issues would have been on the table. As a matter of fact, the teachers' issues have been there for a while. There was an agreement, that was signed between the Ministry of Education and the GTU that spanned 2016-2018 under the coalition government. And then there's a clause in that agreement that I said last week, I think I said that there's a clause which says until a new agreement is inked, that agreement will flow over into the new year or into the year of the signing of a new agreement. Mind you, with the old agreement, there would have been some stipulated figures. In the new proposal, there are new figures. So whatever was there in the previous agreement, we must look at the new proposal once signed, and then we look at the difference between the two. So in the previous agreement, we had $8,000 for clothing allowance. In the new proposal, it is saying $25,000. So the difference in between there is what teachers should be receiving. As a matter of fact, for this year, we've not yet received that. So $25,000 is outstanding. Now, that proposal is a comprehensive document. And in that document, it details what we're asking for the nation's teachers within the public schools. Now, man, you're going to tell me if the askings of our teachers is unreasonable. Mind you, we have been named, quote unquote, the new Dubai of the Caribbean. We are the 10th richest country in this world. And you can't tell me that you're boasting about putting up, 12-storied police station, and you can't pay teachers. You can't boast about all of these road constructions that you're doing, and you can't pay teachers. You can't talk about all kinds of investors who are coming into this country and you can't pay teachers. What kind of nonsense is that? Just make that make sense. And that's all we're saying to them. Make it make sense. You can't tell us that you're doing all of these things and you're not doing anything for teachers. Teachers are the ones who create all professions. If it weren't for a teacher, we would have no Irfan Ali. If it weren't for a teacher, we would have no Priya Manik Chan. If it weren't for a teacher, mind you, even though they were no child left behind, but if it weren't for a teacher, we wouldn't have Joe Hamilton. Teachers made them who they are. But mind you, teachers didn't send them off in that path. Teachers did not send them off in that path. You see how I get so angry? The water that I had there, it fell down. But don't worry, teachers did not send them in that path. So I want to say to you, teachers have been patient. We have been there since 2020, trying to get the government's attention to look at the proposal. The operator is going to put the proposal up on screen just now. So you'll get a chance to maybe read a little bit of what the proposal is saying. But in that proposal, it's a multi-year agreement, a multi-year proposal. that we would have expected that after presenting this to the Minister of Education in 2020 when she assumed the office, that they would quickly look at that proposal and submit to us a counter proposal and indicate to us that, look, we're ready to talk. But from 2020 to now, all we've been having is a whole lot of delaying tactics, a whole lot of run around the stories, a whole lot of they did not get this, and an excuse here and an excuse there. I'm sure you saw on Facebook that big blow up between Priya Manik Chand and Nigel Dharamlal, where Nigel was saying to her, you're highlighting everybody else's fault. You're blaming everybody else, and you are in deep trouble. You're at fault because education is in a mess, and you're at fault. And so I'm saying the same thing. Priya, all she's doing is throwing the blame off of someone else, off of her onto someone else. So she run to Gail Teixeira, she run to Sonia Parag, she run to this person, she run to that person, but still, they don't seem to be able to get it right when it comes to the business of teachers. Now, from 2020 to 2023 December or December 2023, man, you can tell me that this is not being patient? You're going to tell me that teachers were not patient from then to now? Well, if it's patient or patience you're talking about, Georgetown Hospital ain't got enough bed for them. New Amsterdam Hospital doesn't have enough beds for them. The hospital at Lenora, they ain't got no space to accommodate the amount of patients who are going to go there in the form of teachers. I mean, how could a government be so heartless? How could a government who considers themselves to be caring be so unkind? I mean, I thought that dogs and cats and so on are unkind, but not them. This government beat dogs and cats because dogs and cats are our friends. And as long as we treat them good, then they know how to react to us. You treat a stray dog, you pick up a stray dog and you treat that dog well. And that dog will start responding to you as a kind of in kindness. When you come, the dog starts wagging his tail. The dog starts jumping up. As soon as the dog pick up your scent, the dog start making noise. But this government, hey, I don't know which category of animals to put them in. I just don't know. They beat all them animals out there. And that is why it brings to mind a song that I remember. I think it might have been Dave Martin who said, he wants to come back as a human again. He wants to come back as a dog or a puppy. And I want to say tonight that by the time I'm through with this show, tomorrow we should have every single public school teacher out there on the breadline. Out there, because that's on the breadline. That's where we are, struggling for survival. On Monday, since this whole strike action started, and mind you, the GTU, we would have been doing every single thing. Mr. Aziz, good night to you, my dear, and thanks for being here. We would have been doing every single thing. All the paperwork we would have done. And yet, this government, they're still lashing out there that our strike is illegal, But we don't expect them to say anything better than that. But let me remind you, in 2018, our strike was not illegal. Our strike was just. The teachers had real issues. Granger, you must talk to the teachers. I think we have a post somewhere there that we will be able to show you. Granger, you must talk to the teachers. But in 2024, the strike is illegal. The strike is illegal. The strike is illegal in 2024. I mean, I remember hearing President Ali saying he has a comprehensive package for teachers. I wonder if does the comprehensive package that you take out of the insurance for your vehicle. because nothing is forthcoming. Nothing is coming through. Huh? Nothing is coming through. I don't know. Or they came from the chatry class that is emboldening them. I figure so. I figure it must have been that. And yes, caller, you're right. Barajagio called President Granger then a ceremonial president. I wonder who is Irfan Ali now. I wonder who is Irfan Ali now. Huh? Who is Irfan Ali now that he can't make any decision, but he got the audacity to say to teachers that teachers must be patient. Be patient for what? And then he didn't only stop there. He said that they must be patient because he has a package for them, a best welfare package that will come to the floor in 2027. This man had good good. I sure Jack you write this stupidness and tell you, and he ain't even had the time to read it before. Teachers must be patient because there is this package for them. But let me remind you of some of what happened in 2018. Let me remind you.
To increase the salaries of public servants by far more than 20%. By far more than 20%. Mr. Speaker, what about the nurses, the teachers, what about the police workers, the police officers? Aren't they equally important? Aren't they equally important? Mr.
Speaker. Aren't teachers equally important now, Mr. President? Aren't teachers equally important now, Mr. President? So the teachers were correct when they said last week, and that they continue to say this week, when Ali wasn't president, he knew what teachers must get. Now that he is president, it seems that he forgot. I mean, this is the same man that said that teachers were equally important. Well, you're giving sugar workers and sugar workers and sugar workers and fisher folk and this folk and that folk. What happened to teachers? Teachers aren't equally important. Somebody tap Irfan Ali. Call his phone and tell him, listen to this program. Call him and tell him, listen to this program. Mr. Bob Semple, thank you for watching us from way out there in New York. I think you're watching us. And Yvonne Rodriguez, thank you for being here. All of them blind right now. They're blind, they're deaf, and they're dumb. That's what's happening to them. But they're only blind, deaf, and dumb to a certain grouping of people. But let me tell you what. This very man jacked you. I don't know what we will have to do for this man. I don't know what we gonna have to do for this man. I remember hearing a story where somebody said that there was a Muslim guy and they told him to strap some bombs onto his body and he must go to some place and do, the regular thing that they would normally do. And when he dies, he will get to heaven and he will be in the company of, I think, 7 virgins. And the man said, me waiting for them. I ain't going there for do nothing for them. I want them now. So teachers are saying, we're not waiting for 2027. We want it now. We want our benefits now. Don't tell us about 2027. We don't have control over life. And every month or every other month, a teacher is retiring. So how is she going to get her benefit? And then imagine, Auntie Priya got the audacity to say, and maybe, operator, we could probably run the videos of teachers in protest. Auntie Priya got the nerves to come out to tell people that for senior teachers who are 52 years old, her government will be granting you duty-free concession. When you are 52 years old, these people, why Priya wait till she reached 52 years old to take a ministerial position or to start having a driver? Now, what you're seeing in the background, before yesterday, the teachers were in front of the Ministry of Finance. We had over 1,500 teachers in front of the Ministry of Finance. All right, out there. And these, let me say to you, these are not teachers from Linden or Berbice or Esquimalt or Region 3 or Region 5. Well, of course, Region 5 is Berbice, and Region 8 and 9. These are teachers from Georgetown. Teachers within Georgetown, and you have some from the East Coast and some from the East Bank. Those are our teachers. And they're saying 6.5 can't work. Don't come to me funny. Don't come around us funny, because we're not going to buy the nonsense you're telling us. So as I was saying, this proposal was supposed to be signed. It has not yet been signed. You know, while teachers are angry that the government has shown blatant disregard to the nation's educators and to the molders of the nation, we were willing to hold down a little in terms of the protest action, not to have the protest so hyped up. But you know what happened yesterday? Yesterday, we saw the announcement of a poor little God angel, a 6-year-old girl. She sang a calypso at the Mashramani competition in her area. She won in the first category. Then she went on to the next category, and that would have been the regional level, and she won there. Lo and behold, her teachers were informed, and her parents, they were informed that the child will not be able to participate at the national level. Why? Because they said that the child's song is political. Well, if nothing else angered teachers, that one angered teachers. Operator, if you could just play that for us, and then we're going to open for some calls while we'll go through some of the pictures, showing you where teachers are and how teachers are turning out in their numbers.
Chest, I can't even rest. How cost of living, everything doubling, this thing troubling. Tell me how I must carry on with a seemingly one arm. Tell me how I must survive with 6.5. Tell me how I must survive with 6.5. Shiva. Tell me how I must carry on with a seemingly one arm. Tell me how I must survive with 6.5. Please tell me how I must survive with 6.5. Tell me how I must survive with 6.5. Survive with 6.5. The other day the landlord found me rent. I paid him the last few cents. Cause he built I walk and rent the bill. I paid him against me will. Tell me how work must carry on with a seemingly one arm. Tell me how I must survive with 6.5. Please tell
Now, that little child was merely expressing the frustration that parents feel. They have rent, they got GT&T bills to pay, they got e-network, they got GWI, they got GPL, you got the market, and as far as she's concerned, is one hand you're swinging on, one hand, and one hand can't clap. And that's merely what the child was saying in her song. And that song was deemed political. Now, can you understand the level that these people would go down to? Can you understand the level that these people would go down to? They are incapable of running the country. One of our callers a viewer there is saying they are so incapable. What we're going to do, we're going to open the line for some calls, and then we'll talk a little more. We'll open the line for some calls. So callers, you're free to call. Please remember to be respectful. I'm not going to cut you off as long as you're respectful. So you can either agree or not agree with us, but be respectful. That's all we're asking, that you be respectful. Yes, so how are we going to survive on 6.5? You tell me. You tell me if Priya could take 161,000 and survive with that. Tell me if Priya could survive on that. And I know it's a whole lot of failures we're dealing with, because we can show you just now one who had 19 fraud charges. Whole 19 fraud charges he had. But I want them to understand that teachers have families. You know, teachers have husbands, teachers have wives. Some teachers have children that are at the age to vote. And when you mess with me, you're messing with my child who's at the age to vote. And you're messing with my sisters, and you're messing with my brothers, and you're messing with my nieces and my nephews. So if you're messing with me, they're going to pick up fire rage for me. The PPP and understand that. I figure they're not smart enough. The teachers in Linden are struggling every single day. The term just started and 13 schools were closed. Flea infestation. I ain't see Priya gone there yet to say she going to share out cash grant. I ain't see she go there yet. But you know what? I am happy that our teachers all across this country, they're not only saying, but they're out on the streets in their numbers. Man, big up to our teachers in Region 2. Big up to our teachers in Waramadown. Big up to our teachers all across the hinterland. So all the craziness that Priya Manik Chand and Marty D'Souza and the whole posse of them, all the lies that they're going out there to tell the teachers and all the threats that they're issuing. Look, our indigenous brothers and sisters there from Mabaruma, our indigenous sisters and so on, they're out there in Port Kaituma. They're out there. Somebody is calling. We're going to take this call. Good evening to you, caller.
Good night, Miss Coretta.
Good night to you.
A pleasant good evening to you, my dear.
A pleasant good evening.
I must say, God is good, God is love, and I applaud you for that gesture collaboratively. I know it's paining, it's heart-rending to see what teachers are going through. And the powers that be, the heartlessness of them to know that, well, yes, teachers are suffering. Look, the conditions of the school that children and teachers have to go through and bear under. It's not good enough. But listen, we all hold it up. The children of Israel, the children in Egypt were suffering, even though they were rebellion, but there will be a way. Y'all don't give up. Do not give up. Hold on. They have to come to some compromise. And I would like if all public servants step out because it's not easy. Now look how much money they're pouring into Gaisuku. And there is nothing good coming out of Gaisuku. Why don't, look at your teachers? Address your teachers' issues. It's not a political thing. It's a human something. People are suffering. Even teachers in position who have children with that kind of money, they still have to be, wondering and doing a math that they cannot even get the solution to put things together. It pains me. It pains me. And I am in solidarity with all of you. And I trust God. God is watching. God is watching, and He doesn't give a man more than he can make. But Ms. Coretta, I applaud you. I applaud you very well, and I never knew that, you are a little well known from your brother who is, oh my God, what's his name? From the Nashville. Funny. Recently I heard this, but yes. But Ms. Coretta, you and your teachers and the entire team, God be with y'all. God be with y'all and stand firm with the help and the grace of Almighty God, and He will justify because He does not give a man more than he can bear. God bless you and your entire union and beyond. Go on in God's grace.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So that was our first caller there. Giving us some support. We're gonna listen to what one of our Amerindian, our brother from Esquivel Coast. We're going to listen to him. I notice another call is coming in. Let's take this call before. Caller, good night to you.
Good night, Miss Coretta. I am not a teacher, but I have a sister who's a teacher. And so I do support you guys. I want to say, as a legislator, and all Guyana know, that the government would go back to Parliament time and time again. The supplementary budgetary allocations to pump into Gaisuko. Yes, Gaisuko needs it, and that is why there is the need to revisit the Parliament. So please, we are asking you, because we do know you have to get a reason to strike. So public servants can't come out on the road like that. You guys had a legitimate reasons because your proposals were ignored. But we are hopeful that we as a country can piggyback from the gains that you guys will make. I say will make because we believe in God. You guys will make. So I want to beg the teachers and using your platform, don't think about going back to the classroom empty-handed, because the next time a strike is called, you guys will be totally ignored. So teachers, please don't think of going back to the classroom empty-handed. Life sacrifice at different junctures. I heard last night on Ben Scott's program, it was a suggestion by MP Ramjatan for the union to open an account to publicize the numbers, and rest assured the public will put. Technology is too high tech now. From the palm of your hands, you can do bank transfers. You can do transfers from the palm of your hand via MMG. You guys have just got to put the mechanisms in place, publicize it far and wide, and don't allow this thing to break your back. It is going on too long, and I'm glad that the teachers union pull the bull by the horn. They're too disrespectful to the Guyanese public. Let them go back to the Parliament and find supplementary budget to pay the teachers. It happens all the time. Thank you, Miss Coretta.
You're so welcome, and do have a good night.
You too.
Thank you, caller. We want to recognize some other persons and to say good night to them. We have I noticed Miss Cheryl Sampson is there. Miss Cheryl Sampson, I'm sure Frank would want to come into your class. You have to come out again, and do some work with Frank. I also noticed Marielle from Linden, one of our outstanding teachers there. Marielle, take a bow. She is one of our very, 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 very eloquent teacher in Marielle Scott from Linden. She speaks her mind. She stands out there for teachers' cause, and she's always ready and willing to offer the kind of help that is needed. And that's why they don't like the teachers in Linden, because the teachers in Linden don't play. They don't sugarcoat anything. Well, the teachers across this country, they have drawn from some of that wine from Linden. They drew some of that wine from Linden. And so our teachers are outstanding. Listen to one of our brothers from the Essequibo Coast.
SM and General Council Rep, Central Essequibo. We are here because of one phrase, collective bargaining, and that will cover everything. For the past 3 years, we've been trying to get onto the ministry to listen to us. We have penned a lot of letters, and until now, no response. So it was surprising when we heard the Labour Minister was saying that we have not followed. We have been following the protocol for 3 years, for the past 3 years. And so today, we have decided that we will take industrial action, and industrial action in this form of strike. And so after today, our
That's right.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
So we had there two videos you saw there. We had teachers from regions number 5, and we had teachers from number 6 and region number 2. Let's take this call. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Advancing the Cause.
Good evening, Comrade Coretta
Good evening, ma'am.
McDonald. I'm just calling to say to you, continue the strike and don't give up. If you turn back, that's where they want you. Regardless of the threat, we have our rights as Guyanese, and there is nothing can stop us. When Guy Suko protesting, they got a right. But when we niggas protesting, we illegal. We ain't got no right to protest. When Guy Suko on the ground, just reach to Guy Suko. I am so disappointed as an employee working with the government, and you have a $1.46 trillion budget, and nothing is in there for public servants. So tell me, who are we? But the president going and sit with Guy Suko to negotiate increase the salary. Because only Guy Suko is Guyanese. What happens to us? All of us are Guyanese. And so, what good for the goose, better for the gander. If this saying is right. What Guy Suko entitled to, we entitled to.
That's correct.
Guyanese living here, we supposed to benefit from the oil money. It's one set of people getting this money. Public servants need money. Everything on the market up, and your salary remains the same. I can remember for the short time Mr. Granger spent 5 years in Parliament as government, as president. He reached 5, and the percentage was 77. And Jabio said when he gets in there, he's going to take it back. And you believe me, he did that. He took back that money from us. He also said collective bargains and at least 50%. Now he's in the chair. He don't want nothing to do with the union. So I don't understand. It's just a matter of time and days before the entire country shut down. Stand firm. Don't give up. God is with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Bye-bye. We will continue
Yeah.
this fight. Yes, so I recognize we're getting many calls are coming in. If you call and you don't get through, then just call again because some callers are on the line for a pretty long time. But I want to advise callers, don't, if you're going to call, just be very short so that we can get as many calls in. But I want to say to you, teachers have been patient. From 2020 to now, teachers have been patient. And teachers cannot live on 6.5. Could you imagine in 2022, it was 8%. We're going to take this call. We're going to take this call. Caller, good evening to you. Caller, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Could you turn your television set down because we're going to have a feedback coming through our speakers? Oh, well, we just lost that caller. Callers, when you're calling, please make sure you don't have you're not close to your television set because it gives us a terrible feedback here. I noticed we're having caller, good night to you and welcome to Advancing the Cause. Hello.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. This voice is sounding familiar. Good night to you, ma'am.
Good night to you, Gia. I didn't know you were on your show, but I guess it's a good time to call.
Well, we're having a call-in feature tonight.
Okay, nice. So what's the topic today?
Well, we're talking about the teachers' struggle. Teachers are in this, it's the 8th day of the teachers' struggle. So I figure you might want to say a little more to our listeners who are listening about why teachers are on the line, on the breadline, why they're on the struggling here, why they're in the streets, even though today was Valentine's Day when we would have wanted to be in school with our students.
Yes. Well, let me say this, my sister. First of all, thanks for having me on. And we are on the strike line. We're on the bread line. We're on the line that says we want to be respected. We want our union to be respected. We want to have collective bargaining. That's all we're asking for. And based on how things are going right now, it seems as though we're going to have to continue because now we're going to have to earn our respect because apparently we're not respected. Our union is not respected because this government believes that, and you know what happened? They really thought that after Friday last, Monday gone, we would have been back in the classroom.
Uh-huh.
And so because they recognize that, you know, these teachers mean business. So instead of doing the honorable thing and, you know, swallowing your pride and say, listen, let's go to the bargaining table. Let's have what we asked for in 2018, collective bargaining. Instead, they're going to come with their usual dirty tactics, which is to threaten teachers and try to intimidate teachers. But let me say this, what has made it even worse for me as an individual, because let me say this, Miss McDonald, Sister McDonald, nobody has to encourage me to go out there, you know, because you know what? This is about me right now. Me as an individual, Vanessa Kisoon, because many times, even as a mother, as a woman, you know, lots of times we put everybody else in front of us. We ensure everybody else is okay. And we leave ourselves undone. We leave ourselves in the background, you know. But for me, this struggle right now, and I said to some teachers yesterday and today, it's about me as an individual.
Yep.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I have been a teacher just out of high school. I've been teaching since 18 plus. All right? And I want to say to my colleagues out there, 2003, I believe, you're gonna help me here. Correct me if I go wrong. 2003, was it about 2 months we were out?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
None of us died.
Nope.
And all the checks that happened, nothing happened.
Nothing.
Because there are terms of resumption.
Mm-hmm.
And like someone said to some teachers, come on, go and read up, get to understand your rights. All right? We are not going to fall for the government, for Ali Barrett and the 40 thieves and their tactics.
No way.
That coming with this intimidating us. And you know what is most sickening, Sister McDonald? Hey, what is sickening? That every time you stand up for your right, especially when this government is in power, they try to feel they're going to, oh, let me hold the salary. Oh, let me cut them money. Because, so they do these things because they know we're not taking home 1.8 like them. And we don't have all the luxuries and the allowances like them. So they tell themselves, let we punish them, slavery kind of mentality. But we got news for them. Come this Friday, if they don't speak to our union, we out in the streets next week. And I want parents to understand, because CSEC is wrong the bend. SBAs have to be submitted. And there's no part of my job description that says I have to mark SBAs, But that's for another time. But all we're asking is that this government let good sense prevail and come to the table. And listen, I'm hearing things about they might be going to different areas. I'm not sure. Everything you're hearing, I got to talk it. We don't want nobody come to Linden to speak to us. We want them to speak to our union.
Exactly so.
We don't want the president or the prime minister or any minister or any member of parliament or any body coming for instead of going to Watuka, or if they're going Barbies for go somewhere to speak with some teachers. We don't want to speak to you. Speak to our union.
That's true.
I want that message to go across, and I'm saying to my colleagues in all the different regions, from all the different branches, we must not encourage that. If they come to your region, we on strike, picket them. We want no conversation. Let them speak to our union, our elected representatives.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And I'm sure our teachers are listening to you and our parents are listening to you. But before you go, we need to hear one of those chants. Before you go, we need to hear one of those chants.
Which one of the chants you want to hear?
I know I put you on the
one?
spot there. Just give us one.
Let me see. Normally some persons don't like certain chants, but I like this one. I like the one that says, red lavender, white lavender, Priya must go. Teachers United could never be defeated. Teachers United could never be defeated. Children driving, teacher walking, make it make sense. Children driving, teacher walking, make it make sense. 6.5 can't walk. 6.5 can't walk. Pay today, broke today. Pay today, broke today. Pay today, broke today. Come to the bargaining table. Speak to our union.
Right. Vanessa, I want to thank you so much. And that's the one and only Vanessa Kissoon. No other like her. Vanessa, thank you so much. Keep the fire burning in Linden. We are going to be staying here, slippers on the ground, unless they are prepared to talk to us properly, not just talk. So thanks, Vanessa.
No retreat.
No surrender.
No, GS. No retreat. You gotta say it with a passion, GS. You can't say it so easy. No retreat.
No surrender.
No retreat.
But I like the red lavender, white lavender. I like that one. But we'll hold that down for another time.
Another time.
Good deal.
Thank you very much.
So much. Bye bye.
Stay blessed. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. So you heard that. Teachers are saying, pay today, broke today. Pay today, broke today. Make it make sense. 6.5 can't work. It can't work at all. Now, we're going to take this caller. Caller, good evening. You're on to Advancing the Cause.
Good night, Miss Coretta McDonald. How are you? I'm calling from Region 5.
Region number 5.
Yes, Hope Town.
Okay, Hope Town in the house.
Hope Town in the house tonight. Miss Coretta, I don't like how they're doing the teachers. They're giving the sugar workers more money, and they're giving the cash grant to the small business people, and that is not right.
Not right at all.
And the next thing, I like how the Region 7 teachers come out.
Yes.
And yes, I like how the teachers come out for Region 7. The lady said, I don't care what they do, they're giving me things, and yet still they're mocking us.
Okay.
But yes, I like how that girl from Region 7 speak, and the man from Region 2.
Yes.
Yes, I like how he speaks. But in God says, the Bible says, no man shall not live by bread alone, but by the words of God.
Yes.
And I like y'all to come out, don't make the PPP put us nowhere. We are all in front of the PPP. And that's all I have to say. We're not one Guyana, we're one people, one nation, one destiny.
Well, I know that the teachers have a chant that says, Priya say, Ali says one Guyana, Priya says no Guyana. So
and I like the one with slippers on the ground.
Slippers on the ground, yes. The shoes is worn out, so slippers on the ground.
Oh,
Thank you for coming in, Region 5. We're going to take another call.
I like how the teachers come out this morning and been protesting.
Yes, thank you so much for your support.
You too, Miss McDonald. Have a blessed night.
Bye-bye. Caller, good night to you. I know you've been there for quite some time. Good night to you.
Good night. I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. Despite of the challenges, just keep doing what you're doing. I was thinking about Jack Dio. He's saying that this thing is political, but knowing the mindset of him, it is because he is political. Because it is a political movie making. He don't want to pay the teachers because he wants the country to remain illiterate. So anything he come and tell in election time, they could believe. So they're not really interested in Guyana being an educated nation. That is why they put on a fee after they come in August 92 on the university. Yep. And now they come campaigning, we can move it. You're moving nothing. You're just correcting your wrong. So keep on doing what you're doing. When you say this thing is political, he's trying to take our mind because it is a political move. If it was the sugar workers, immediately they would go. Yes, so he is political by not paying. He don't want to pay the teachers because he don't want the teachers to go home with a good retirement package and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So slippers on the ground. When they're going to raise teacher pay? When the money done? We want it now.
We want it now.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear. Baby Bear, good night to you. Good night, caller. Thanks for calling Advancing the Cause.
Good night, Madam Chair.
Good night, my dear.
It's guy super teaching finale instead of getting university from. Like that's like running and doing everything for guys.
Guy Suko, no?
Guy Suko teaching. Have a good night.
Thank you, my dear. Have a good night too. So the callers so far who have called in, they're all in support of the teachers' action. And, I'm seeing one caller here saying, we can't live on bread alone. We need some eggs, some butter, some cheese, and a little bit of, we need some eggs, some butter, some cheese. Why is it that the PPP feel that they must always be on the necks of the Guyanese people? And like a caller said, they don't want us to be educated. They're not interested in education because that will be a hamper for them, like a hindrance for them, as a matter of fact. I remember one of my colleagues saying on the Esquimalt Coast, he said he wants Jagdio and the others to know that this time is not long time, is a different breed of young people we got now. And mind you, this is one of our East Indian brothers who's a teacher. He's saying, let them know we have technology at our fingertips and we are using it. We are reading, we are seeing, we are doing our own research, and we know what you give. Don't feel you can fool us this time. And they were bold to let Priya Manik Chand know this strike is not about Coretta McDonald. This strike is about all of us. Coretta McDonald is a teacher just like all of us. And I'm happy that persons are recognizing that the PPP wants to distract from them, and they're throwing Coretta in the limelight. But they did not remember that in 2018, they were all there surrounding the GTU, supporting our action when we took action against the PPP, the APNU AFC. And the caller, like, of course, another view is echoing what the caller said, that the PPP, they're not interested in education. They want to keep persons mentally lazy, so that whatever they come to tell you, you must believe and you must buy that wholesale. But callers, I want to say to you tonight, the PPP will not win. We have another call on the line. Good night to you, my dear.
Good afternoon. Good night, GM.
Good night, my dear.
Good night, GM.
You're gonna have to turn the volume of your television down because we're having a feedback here.
You hearing me now?
We're hearing you now.
Yes. This morning I was listening to the president of the union, Mr. Mark Light, and I love what he said this morning on this program, that he studied with Flambeau. He know about cooking on 2 bricks with wood underneath it. Let Priya Manichan know that we gonna stand by the teachers union.
Thank you.
We going to stand by y'all with whatever y'all need. We're gonna support y'all. We're gonna mobilize ourselves here in New York, and we're gonna mobilize and support y'all in Guyana. The government must realize in 2018, you was the person who lead this strike against the APNU AFC government.
Yes.
And the government of that day respond to your call and come out and reach to the table with y'all. But Chavio, Ali, and Priya Manichan, there are wicked people.
Very wicked people.
Our chauffeur driver is taking home $360 whatever $1,000.
$60,000.
And for my information that I understand, the money is in our budget for our driver, but she do not pay the driver from our money. The money comes from Ministry of Finance. I get a good source from Ministry of Finance. So they must learn to come out and tell the teachers them what they want to hear. The teachers need more money. 6.5 cannot work.
Cannot work.
The cost of living is very high. It's very high. Then it's so heartbreaking. But as a little child, because that child sing about the 6.5 and this fire, they are wicked and they're gonna burn in hell.
Yep.
You have a good night, Jim. You keep on the fight.
Yes,
don't
my dear.
Down.
Good night to you. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You don't back down. Yes. You have a good night.
Good night, my dear. They feel that when they threaten the union to take away the union's dues, that will cause the union to pull our teachers in. They feel that when they send that threat out there to threaten teachers with loss of pay and dismissal, that teachers are going to back down. But you know what? Teachers are educated. They took time off to read the law. And when you cut our salaries, again, let me repeat it like the caller just said, when you cut the teachers' salaries, they got thousands of people out there, hundreds of thousands of people out there who are ready to assist the teachers. We'll take another call. Good night to you, my dear, and you're on to advancing the cause.
Good night, sister. How are you?
I am doing pretty well. When I have the support of persons like you, I have to be strong.
Listen, I am so proud of you. Believe you, Miss Sister. When I see the courage of God in you, I said, look, this is my true blood sister. Listen to me. I just came back from Israel not too long ago, and I can't say much here. Of course, you know where I'm coming from. But yes, listen to me. Stand up. Stand your ground. Hold on. God is on your side. And let me say this, sister, just like you see how Pharaoh was pursuing the children of Israel, and look at what happened. You saw what God did? He drowned Pharaoh and his army. They were all buried alive. Let me say this to you. If that individual that is down there in Guyana believing that he's a God, he's nothing more than an idol-worshipping, spirited person, empty-minded, covetous, greedy, evil person. And I'm calling upon all my Guyanese brothers and sisters to join heart and hands together and see what it is. This is nothing political. You have put yourself in the line. The teachers are doing that. And what I'm seeing this guy is doing, he wants to have an illiterate culture where he can control the young people with the guns and the batons in their hands so that they're stupid and dumb, where they cannot think for themselves or reason for themselves, and he must be the master. Listen to me there. But God have a way of overthrowing the enemy. See, what you plan for evil, God always turn it around for good. And I'm praying and asking God for his divine protection upon my Guyanese brothers and sisters, and especially you with that courage. I love you. And I'm asking again for all my Guyanese brothers and sisters to join heart and hands together and fight to save this country. And I'm with you. I'm hoping for the next election I'm down there. Okay? So do me a favor. Keep up the good work. Continue praying. We're here praying for you. And we're praying for all of our Guyanese brothers and sisters. And I'm going to call back and see if I can get some personal information from you to be able to send them some donation to help my brothers and sisters. We need an educated culture. We don't need an uneducated, ignorant culture for no devil in hell to lead them and control them and to enslave them. God, that's what he's looking for. He is the slave. And so what we have to do is to unseat the slave masters. Thank you.
Thank you.
God love you, sister.
Thank you, my
God
dear.
bless you.
God bless you too. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And so, when they think that they are doing things to us and they're going to destroy the GTU, I must remind Barajagyo that the GTU has been there since 1884. Count and see how many years that was. It's a lot of years. The Jagdeo was nowhere in the making then, and so Jagdeo can't break this union now. I want to say to us, viewers, don't be distracted with the kinds of foolishness that they're putting out there. GTU doesn't have audited financial statements. GTU doesn't have this. GTU. What we should be asking them is, what were you doing all the time? You were there for 23 years. Why you never raised those things? Why you never raised them before? The coalition was there. How the coalition didn't say so? We struck against the coalition. Why didn't the coalition say so? So don't get distracted with them and all kind of foolishness with how many billions we can't account for. You ask Jagdeo to account for all the properties that he got. Ask Priya Manikchand to account for the properties that she has. Ask Irfan Ali to give us an account for all the properties that he has got. Ask Irfan Ali about the 19 fraud charges that he got. Quick time they drop it, but they don't want to pick up teachers' issues. So let's not be distracted with what they're saying. Ask them just the other day, who gave permission to write off the audit debts for ExxonMobil? Ask them that. 111 million US dollars, could they write it off? You ask them who gave permission for that. And so I read your comments, and I'm seeing one of my brothers saying they're interested in contracts and kickbacks. And that's what they're all about. This is a kickback country. Contracts to friends, families, cronies, and flatterers. Flatterers, friends, families, favorites. Ask them what happened to Bamia Primary School. It can't finish yet. A whole lot of monies were paid over to the contractors. They can't finish it yet, and they're asking for more monies. We got the Cemetery Road. Work ceased on the Cemetery Road as we speak. Lots and lots of monies. Maybe the supernatural forces are out there again. We got road projects doing all over the place. What happened to it? What happened to it? And the thing is, like one of our viewer there is saying, if GTU did not have financial audited statements, how is it that the PPP continue to give us the $5 million? How are we collecting the $5 million from you every year? These people are just wicked. You know that in order to collect money from government, you have to submit your financial statements to clear and then to receive again. How have we been receiving that? Wickedness in high places, but that will not stop the GTU. That will not stop the GTU. Our teachers across this country, they have been out in their numbers. And you know what? When they couldn't get to GTU, then they started attacking the General Secretary, Coretta McDonald. But Jagdio's supposed to know me by now. Jagdio ought to know me by now that Coretta McDonald don't bow. The only person I bow to is God. That being, I bow to nobody else. And I don't cover my mouth and sugarcoat anything when I'm ready to talk. You know, and that's the problem that they have with me. So he had his concubines and all of them out there. And you know what they're trying to do? Say, oh, let Coretta McDonald tell us where she got money to buy here this vehicle. This brand new model Lexus. Well, I had to tell them that they put me in the low life category. And it's hurting them that a low life driving a brand new model Lexus that some of them can't drive. Well, let's take this caller.
Hi, Ms.
Good night, caller. Thanks for calling.
This is a call from Region 8. I was listening to the president just now, just was saying teachers are not equally important.
Well, something is wrong with the president if the president said that. Something is definitely wrong with him if that's what he said.
That is what he said. Teachers are not equally important. Now, teachers teach you, educate, for we to get education. The nurses save lives. The police keep the peace. And these people are not important. We're giving people 6%, Ms. Coretta.
6.5%.
While they're eating steaks, turkey, and different stuff. We have to eat shine rice.
Yes.
With dry shrimps. Ms. Coretta, you need to keep your foot on the ground. You need to keep protesting. Strike it. Keep the strike on.
Yep.
And I think the nurses, the maids, everybody, all public servants should strike and shut the country down.
Yep. And so while we are going, let me just cut you a little, while we are going to call on the nurses. For now, take your lunch break and come out. Other public servants, take your lunch break and come out and join us on the streets. And while they are doing that, I want to ask, where's the private sector? Private sector, you need to join with the teachers. You need to talk to Jagdio and Irfan Ali and let them know that teachers shop from you. If not, we're going to have to call some of you out. Yes, my sister.
Because I have an education officer in Region 8 telling the teachers, imagine not to strike.
Which education officer is that?
Her name is Miss King. And one named Pastor going at the school and the police and checking on the teachers and
Miss
keeping the
King,
teachers afraid.
education officer from Region 8. Miss King, you better understand that you in the same struggle just like the teachers. You better understand that and don't intimidate our teachers. Don't intimidate our teachers, Miss King from Region 8.
All the teachers and telling them that the union is not representing the teachers in Region 8. The union representing everybody. The union has to represent the teachers in Region 8 branch. It's not striking. And from 10 different regions striking. Why the teachers in Region 8?
Look, our teachers in Region 8, let me say to you, whether you're a member or not, the GTU is there ready to stand for you. Whether you're a member or not, this is a struggle for survival. And so go out there, withhold your service, and let's see what Miss King will do. Let's see what Saddam Hussein will do. Let's see what Priya Manik Chand will do. Because just how they can do, they got other people who will undo it.
Because why they're doing this, they get a lot of them at the region. There is in there getting contract in there and doing infrastructure in there.
Okay.
They're taking the contract, doing subcontract,
Kickback
and they're getting the money, and the money circulating in the admin office. So they don't want to be out of the admin office to go on strike.
Okay.
But Ms. Coretta McDonald, I think Matthew really need somebody properly to be on this ground and come to Matthew to see what is going on.
All right.
They're talking about road. People cannot eat road.
I know that. As a matter of
They've
fact,
been in the road for how much years in Matthew?
Edghill said that when he was in opposition, that the coalition building roads, people can't eat roads. And the very same thing they're doing now, the very, very same thing they're doing now. One person getting 5 and 6 contracts, that's why we can't finish the roads.
Okay, I could call their name, Mice, Vicky, and Lachman Singh. The contract passing between them and Bidder. And there is the people who get in all these contracts and the money them between them. And the money is there between them.
We did not hear those names. Let's have those names again.
Vicky, Mice, and Lachman Singh, who is an engineer in the office.
So Vicky, Mice, and Lachman Singh, who is the engineer in the office there at Madia, they're the ones who get in the contract and splitting up the monies amongst themselves. So again, friends, families, favorites, cronies, Mice, Lachman Singh, and Vicky in region number 8 at the admin office. You see, when we talk about corruption, what we're talking about. Now, here is a resident from Madia who knows exactly what is happening there. Mice, you better start running. We got the mice trap coming for you. You better start running.
Okay, they're coming to put down some steel rods in the street and say that, okay, they're going and do the street. Up to now, the streets cannot start it. Everything these people put their hands to do, it is not finishing. And I see they're putting on the news, they're doing road in Region 8, and they're doing this. Ms. Curtis are outright lie. First of all, Region 8 is an APNU town, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't want to do anything in Region 8. Not even the rubbish is not picking up properly.
Wow.
If they don't use a strong APNU, they cut out the water from you.
Well, it's the same thing that is happening. I know teachers are complaining about the teachers' quarters. They can't get water. This happened, that happened. The what you call it? Can't even remember. The lighting is not working properly. The bathrooms not properly. The ceiling falling in. I mean, what these people really doing with all this oil money? Huh? What they're really doing? But thank you for calling.
Infrastructure, and there's a sky road soon.
Yeah, thank you for calling.
But I cannot be long on this phone because I'm keeping asking.
Yes, dear. Thank you for calling. So you see, Mice, Vicky, and Lachman Singh. Is Lachman Singh? I hope I get the name right. From region number 8, who in the admin office there and sharing the contracts among themselves. Y'all better be able to account for the monies. That's what Jagdio should be asking you. And all the cronies who we putting up to talk foolishness about GTU. But again, I want to ask that public servants come out. If you have not yet gotten the go ahead from your unions, come out during your lunch break and support the teachers. And teachers are not backing down. We're not backing down until this government decides to speak to us. And not only to speak to us, but the conditions of resumption, until they accept the conditions of resumption, teachers will not be returning to work. Because I can tell you folks, if we as teachers decide to chuck in now, like the folks would say, this is the end of us. This will be the end of us. And we have been there for too long. We have been holding for too long. We have been patient for extremely too long. We extended more than patience. And we will not hold back now. You know, the teachers are on the streets. The teachers went to Main Street, and you know the police come out there to tell the teachers, oh, they can't walk up and down the avenue. Oh, they can't stand here. Oh, they can't stand there. Wickedness. And they used to go and stand up in front of President Granger's residence when he was there. But this kind of dictatorship ain't gonna work. Caller, you're on. Good night. Hello. Well, something has happened there. We lost that caller. But folks, I want to say to you, teachers will not be backing down. We have a parent who sent us a video. Operative, you can play that video with the parent there. She's somewhere there. Yes, if we can just play this one for our listeners. I know our time is running away from us. We're taking some of in the rings time, but I'm sure my colleague don't mind, because this is what we're all interested in, the welfare of our teachers. What are they doing about teachers? Aren't teachers important too? The Minister of Education, she sits in Parliament and she stands there to talk about, we have built so many secondary schools, but she's not saying how many secondary schools the APNU AFC had to repair and rehabilitate after they left government, when they sat there for 23 years. 23 years they sat in government, and the APNU AFC had to go and repair hundreds of schools across this country, while of course they built nursery and primary schools. They had enough time to build secondary schools because they were busy fixing some of those same dorms. Yet the Madia story come, but don't worry, I keep telling Auntie Priya, if for nothing else, she got a belt with 20 innocent indigenous lives on it. 20! First Minister of Education across this Caribbean and maybe the world to have had 20 innocent lives under her belt. 20, the screams of those children will continue to haunt her. The screams of those children will continue to haunt the ministers of the PPP government, because they're wicked, they stink, they're dirty. And you know, they like to tell you about, oh, listen to them, how they speak. But we have to speak like that. You listen to Priya when she spoke at the ambassador's residence. You listen to her, don't forget that. Listen to her when she spoke at the ambassador's residence. And when she was finished, she walked out, she and Gail Teixeira, and with Gail Teixeira behind her. But we're going to listen to this parent.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to come to you guys today and talk about the Guyana Teachers Union and the accusations of corruption. That has nothing to do with our strike. It is time right now for us to be focused on the strike that is happening. The strike where teachers want more money and need more money. We cannot have our teachers walking poverty line in Guyana. Absolutely not. And if the teachers trade union did something wrong, the Ministry of Education was condoning that for 35 years or 30 years, however long it was. I don't care about that. We don't care about that. What we care about is whether our teachers will get their proper salary. And that's the focus right now. Pay our teachers.
But you notice this is a resident way out, a mother way out in region number 9 in Lethem. And she is saying, we don't care what the union did. We don't care. Pay the teachers. And if the union did something wrong, you were condoning it. We never heard about that before. But you know what, colleagues? I am going to leave you tonight with one from one of our teachers, a teacher from Linden, the other one, the teacher in the, she is going to wrap us up tonight. But I want to urge mothers and fathers and grandparents and everyone else to come out and support our teachers. Before we take her, let's take this last call and then we'll wrap up. Good night to you, my dear.
A blessed good evening to you, Ms. McDonald, and your viewing audience. Quickly, I would like to make an input. You guys are doing a tremendous job. You are the teachers. You are the persons who respond to mold our children and society. This government has, this PDP cabal, the Jack Youth administration, has no intentions, and they're showing clearly that they have no intentions of paying you any money or giving you your demands that you ask for. I'm saying to the general public at large, we have to show solidarity and unite against this struggle that we are in. There's an old saying, united we stand, divided we fall. And as pertaining to those other institutions like the unions, all the other unions, GPSU, the Guyana Labor Union, their time is coming too. Because when there's a dissatisfaction with the workers in the respective unions that governs them, and those workers are not treated with respect, the unions will be forced to make such decisions like the teachers' union are doing now. And I say clearly and categorically, this administration has no respect for the teachers, and they have no respect for poor people. One thing I could attest to, the reason why this administration is not giving teachers respect as they rightfully do is because teachers mold the nation. And once the minds of the youth of today are educated, especially from the PPP's household, which are the supporters, there's going to be a time is going to come that the PPP cannot carry the narrative that they're peddling all the years to the younger generation because they're the educated ones. Thank you for your listening, and thank you for your call.
Thank you for coming through, Carla. Thanks for the words of encouragement. Yes, so we're going to wrap up tonight, viewers. Thank you for being here with us. Come out, support the teachers. Tomorrow we are going to be in front of every single education department across this country. Every single education department. In Georgetown, we are going to be in front of the Office of the Minister of Education at 21 Brick Dam. In Linden, in front of the Education Department in Region 5, Region 6, Region 2, Region 1, everywhere else. So come out, support the teachers, and let's rally for this government to speak with the teachers' union. We'll wrap up with one of our teachers there.
I was born by the river in a little tent, oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time. Oh, a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living.
Feelings, the strike done come it there and done. But me slipper still up on the ground. We come far now, we ain't backing down. We did only want what we working for. Now only come and say we getting none. But me slipper still up on the ground. We come far now, we ain't backing down. Hey, people, this thing too serious. The little bit of money can't sustain us. You're working for years and you can't buy a car. Every morning is a struggle when you gotta catch bus. Jesus, only you could fix that. Somebody come and tell me why these people going on so. We aisle money bringing in a reasonable stop. We demanding that you make it right to spend it on. We too young fi complain about salary. When my bills done pay, nothing done left back for me. Much less if I had 1 or 2 or 3